Welcome back to Legacy Decoded. This is a place where operators, founders, and innovators come to pull back the curtain on what is really shaping the future of logistics. I'm your host, Kalei Poteat, and today we are not just talking about tech. We're talking about something every warehouse, every 3PL, and every supply chain operator feels in their bones. It's the silent leak, the hidden drag, the cost you never see on the invoice but always feel in the margins. This is the cost of outdated technology. And to unpack that, I brought on someone who has been deep inside this issue. I believe she has lived it, she's solved it, and is actively pushing the industry forward. Joining me today is Miss Karin. Is it Levy or Levi?
Both, Levy.
Levy. This is the CEO of Zimark. This is a company leading the charge in smart pallet tracking and modern warehouse intelligence. Karin, I just want to welcome you to the show. I'm super excited to have you here.
Thank you, Kalei. I'm super excited to be here too.
Awesome. So before we jump in, into the hard hitting insight, that kind of gives everyone a sense of you. I'd love to know, how did you end up in this world of logistics technology, and what is the core problem you and your team at Zmark are obsessed with solving right now?
So I actually grew up in this industry. I started my way when I was around 26 years old in the industry. Started working for Zim Integrated Shipping. It's one of the largest container shipping companies in the world. It's actually in the New York Stock Exchange. And I went through various positions in that company, exposing me to this amazing world of supply chain and logistics. The first manager that hired me for Zim told me that you get hooked, you get actually addicted to this industry because it's so interesting and every day you learn something new. And I didn't believe him. I was sure he was exaggerating, but that was true. And throughout the years working in this industry, both in global areas as well. So I see that. And a lot of people that start in the industry never leave it. And that's actually what happened to me. After around 20 years with Zim, I decided that I want to make a shift. My last position was running the operation for Zim in the Caribbean and Central America. I relocated to Miami for 5 years. So I was deeply involved in running the day-to-day operation logistics for the company. But I wanted to take this passion for logistics and also combine it with passion for technology and realizing that there has to be a way to do things better in the industries. I had this opportunity, amazing opportunity to open Zimark. This is still a subsidiary of Zim. So I kept, one leg in the shipping industry and the supply chain industry, and one leg transferred to high tech technology startup worlds, which is amazing.
Mm,
And
that is super amazing.
and you asked about what's our passion and what my team and myself are really deeply passionate about solving. So we actually focus on empowering the teams on the ground. That's what we want to do. We want to, it amazes me the fact that we don't realize and don't appreciate how we order something online, be it Amazon, AliExpress, or anything globally. And this one package, it can be a pen, it can be a shirt, ends up arriving at our doorsteps. And it looks super seamless, but it's not. There's a lot of friction and a lot of human errors that can happen along the way, and a lot of mistakes and a lot of mishaps. And it's amazing that it ends up at our doorsteps, and we don't even understand and realize the travel, the journey that it made. So the idea is to make logistics frictionless and empower the teams that are working on the ground, actually give them the tools to be able to make their life simple using simple technology and make their work much more.
Love it. Love it. Great insights. Well, let's just kind of set the baseline. When you talk about like the hidden costs of outdated technologies and logistics, what does that actually look like day to day?
So think about your average warehouse. I'm not talking about the huge giants, which are completely automatic. I'm talking about, let's say, 90 plus percent of the market. There are still huge percentages of warehouses today that work with pen and pencil and pages or Excel spreadsheets. They didn't adopt any technology as of yet. They don't use yet a warehouse management system. So that's on one end of the scale. On the other end of the scale, you have the complete automated warehouses. And you have, a very advanced, I would say right now, technology for those middle sector warehouses are the ones that adopted warehouse management system that could be very intelligent, very sophisticated, but there's one hurdle for them to maximize them, that they're still using the traditional barcode scanners, RFID scanners, where you need to be very present. You need to be in proximity to the asset that you're tracking. It can be a package, it can be a pallet, it can be a container, never mind. But you need to be in proximity and you need to be able to scan one by one by one. Think about the amount of work, the tedious work. It's repeatable. So that's basically a lot of the hidden cost goes there. Because whenever there's a human element involved in tracking data, so mistakes will happen. I know that if I would be sitting and scanning all day, I would make mistakes. It's only human. So that's where a lot of the hidden costs come through. Making repetitive work that doesn't translate into something that is supported by technology. So think about a pallet that comes off a container at the entrance of the warehouse, and somebody scans it and then puts it away at a rack, but he never scans where he put it. They all look alike. And then when you're looking for it, it starts looking like a needle in a haystack. Now start looking for a pallet. You could see that in warehouses. They have teams, five, six people at a time, stopping everything, dropping everything, and just looking for a pallet because now they need to ship it out for their customer. So these are the types of hidden costs that are out there that you don't normally even track, but you know that they are painful. When we talk to our customers, it's painful. They need to close the warehouse for cycle counts. It's a lot of manual work, repetitive work. Our wish is to see how we can help in, eliminating that work.
What I find interesting is that so many teams kind of know their tech stack is outdated. They know systems are clunky. They know that there's money slipping through the cracks, yet they kind of stay. From your perspective, what are the psychological or operational blockers that keep companies stuck in legacy tools?
That's a great question. And we see that all the time, especially in this industry, which is a little bit behind still on adopting new technologies. So, one of the biggest hurdles when we come to customers is actually not having to push away a competitor that is already there. It's actually doing that change of mindset of, yeah, make a leap of faith and try and adopting a new technology. So I would say a lot of the hurdles are, this there is a catch 22 here, right? You don't have enough time because you're always running with a fire extinguisher in order to make sure that what's burning right now, you're going to put out the fire because you don't have supporting tools and technology to help make your job more efficient. So you don't have the time to invest in strategic thinking or development or implementing projects because you're running all day long after your day to day. But so you don't have the time for that. But if you don't implement those technologies, then it cannot release you from doing those same, fire extinguishing acts that you do every day. So it's like this catch that they have. Another thing is that we see that they were burnt. They were burnt before. They tried implementing a technology and it didn't work out, or it was very time consuming or very costly, and they didn't get what they expected out of it. And that's, you see the burn, you see the pain around it. So they are very, very cautious about going ahead and implementing a new technology as well. And I would say that it's another part of it is the project, the implementation project. Some of them are very cumbersome, and not necessarily all warehouses have the resources. So there are internal tech teams that allows them to do some of this work more efficiently, having a project leader that will implement the system and make sure that it operates. So a lot of hurdles around the resources to be able to do these projects.
I'd love to know as well if you could give me a practical example, a moment when maybe a smart pallet tracking flipped the whole story for a warehouse or logistics team. What changed once they had clean visibility and real data? What was that transformation? What did that transformation kind of look like in actual dollars saved or headaches removed?
So I'll give you an example of one of the solutions that we offer our customers. This is our first solution in the market, so it's called shipping control. So basically, what we do is for full pallet warehouses, we put two cameras because we are a computer vision based solution. So we put two cameras on the dock door. And whenever there is a shipment that is supposed to be loaded on a truck or a container, then we connect through the WMS system, warehouse management system, and we know what is supposed to be loaded. So using computer vision, we eliminate the need for manual scanning. So everything that is loaded onto the truck or container, we ensure that it's the right pallet. Why do we do that? Because sometimes people will scan one pallet and send another, and it can end up in another country, having to fly it back, air cargo it back, which is very expensive. There is a lot of customer friction around that, and there is a lot of operational cost around that mistake. So using our system, we are making sure that we are providing real automatic loading control. So we make sure everything was loaded correctly and that no pallet was left behind on the storage floor. And while doing that, since we're using cameras, we provide a proof of load. So we take pictures and videos of everything that was loaded. So think about one of our warehouses that is sending something, and a customer calls him and says, and that happened in reality. So we have an operational, a warehouse manager that called us during one of our pilot stages, actually. So I remember it very vividly. So he calls us and says, can you pull out a picture or video from your system? Because one of my customers, an operational manager of a big manufacturer, said he never got a pallet. So in a click of a button, we pulled the video for him, provided him with a proof of load showing that it was loaded by him to the truck. And with that, the entire discussion from the customer side ended. There's no, there's proof there, picture, video, no he said, no mutual claims one against the other. And what they would have to do in the past was sit on the CCTV cameras, sometimes for hours, to look for the relevant footage. And that's one of those moments where you get that feeling, that aha moment of, wow, this can really, really be helpful, And and for us, we see sometimes our customers showing the system to their customers as a selling tool. So one of the things that in the industry is craving for is innovation. And we see our customers craving that from their providers. So our customers showing the system with enthusiasm to their customers as this is a control tool that I've implemented and this will make me provide you much better service. This is another aha moment. So there is exactly that. There's the point of the soft ROIs, which is the customer service, the perception of innovation, which is very important for their customers, and the upsell, being able to sell that trust and control, which provides them more customers or growing with their current customers. And there's the hard ROIs around saving time and effort for the people, saving operational expenses of, for example, trucking back a pallet that you sent by mistake. We prevent that. Or money around claims that somebody will claim that they never sent it and they cannot prove it. So these are the types of savings that we can provide.
I love that. Yeah, that's definitely a few aha moments for sure. And I know a lot of companies try to modernize their operations, but they often approach it the wrong way. In your experience, what are the most common mistakes some of these teams can make when they try to update their technology, or what should they kind of do instead?
That's a great question. We actually have this work session around it in some conferences where we talk about how to navigate the tech jungle. So first of all, there's a lot of noise out there. Many technologies that are coming into the market, especially now into the logistics and supply chain market, because this is a market that is really booming right now with options and technology, which is great. It's great for the customers. But the idea is not to fall in love with the technology. It's actually the technology is the means, it's not the goal. And the goal is to make your life more efficient and to maximize your ROI as a warehouse provider or logistic provider. So the mistake is just to either go into, we see that there's so much noise that people go into analysis paralysis, just not taking a decision at all. Some of it has to do with the fact that they don't know necessarily their numbers. They don't know to identify their key pain point. And technologies will be out there offering their services, and they will not go by the numbers, but they will go by a gut feeling, or they will go by what's cool, something that is right now looks amazing. There are a lot of buzzwords out there. So I would say, that's something that, you need to be cautious about. I would say you need to be very efficient around knowing your pain, knowing your numbers, knowing your floor operations very well before going into decision making for technology.
Brilliant. Love that. And as we move forward, I'd love to kind of just keep it a little practical. If you could imagine an operation or just an operations leader, essentially, that's probably listening to this right now thinking, I can feel the leakage, but I do not know where to start. What would you say is the first step for someone who wants to diagnose whether outdated tech is actually hurting them? And what would that first 90 days of fixing it actually look like?
Now, that's a great question. So I would say that as a leader, as a manager of any operation, I would first go down to the floor of the warehouse. I would sit there and make some observations myself. They say the CEO usually lives in a bubble, and I'm a CEO, so I try not to fall into the trap as well. And sometimes, a lot of us do. So I think that, first of all, go down to the floor, observe, do a day in your life, know the operation very well. A lot of them really know the operation, but what we see is that when we sit with the floor team, because that's what we do, we go and we make observations at the warehouse before we implement the technology, because then it helps us do later on the implementation much smoother. And what we see is what the floor team sees is different than what the management and the ownership level sees. And it's very, very natural. So I would say know exactly what's happening on the floor. I would say collect the data. Don't go just by gut feelings. Don't go by what is burning today because that's what you remember. Collect the data, collect times that it takes to do certain processes, collect scanning times, collect waste resources, waste time, talk to the team members, get some ideas from them, realize what's your biggest pain point first, and then by being informed, then take the decision and prioritize what are the key pain points that are going to make your life easier if you're going to solve them. What's going to save the most money, save the most time and effort, and help you grow your business. And I would say that that's where I would start. First and foremost, be informed about the numbers and the impact.
Love that. Yeah, I can see how a lot of CEOs may live in a bubble, but I definitely feel that super practical. If we could do some future pacing and just talk about the future a bit, the logistics industry is always seeming to shift fast, and smart tracking is becoming smarter. Data is becoming the core engine of the whole supply chain, I believe. What do you believe the next 3 to 5 years actually looks like for warehouses and 3PLs? Where is this industry headed, and what role will operators play inside of this new tech-enabled world?
I believe that we are going to, with the entire development of AI and computer vision, I think that the usage of that is going to grow much further. I think it's going to develop a lot. We are talking about beyond exponential. I think that the industry is now at a very interesting intersection of this booming of technology and offers into this section. I think that there's still some tweaking to do there because not all of the offerings are exactly to the point. But I think we will see much more automation alongside the humans. I'm not talking about the very big ones that are going for complete automation. There is still a huge range of warehouses and operators that will still be we will not be able to go yet to the full automation and robotics for their entire warehouses. And I think they will invest in tools that will help them take decisions faster, more efficient, and will be supported by machines, will supported by AI to make better decisions, more informed decisions. Still, there will be, we aim for that it will be a combination of man and machine together. And our solutions are aimed at that. I think that that's the right combination to go in a lot of cases.
Wow, it's definitely something to think about. I know that that range is pretty significant. At Zmark, as you continue to build, what has really worked well for you guys, and what's kind of like the most frustrating part?
What has worked well, you mean with the implementation for customers or in general for us as a
Yeah, just
company?
as a company. Yeah.
As a company. Well, we are a startup company. So as a startup company, it's a daily roller coaster. Every day is a new challenge, and it's exciting, but it's also very, very challenging because we are making new starts in a lot of markets and with our product. So one of our key challenges is market penetration, I would say, in the sense of market education. So there is a lot we talked about the fact that this is an intersection now with a lot of technologies emerging into the market, but still there is reluctancy sometimes in adopting new technologies because of our frustration about past implementations, because of not knowing which technology to choose, not being able to calculate the ROI very easily because they don't necessarily, the warehouses or the operators or managers don't have the data. Long decision processes. So I would say that's something that we are encountering as we go into the market. And I think that also there is an issue around the resources of the integration. So that's something that we see a lot around integrating with solutions that are out there because lack of resources. So warehouse management systems that are already implemented, and we are very easily able to integrate with them, but there is a limitation of resources at the customer side to be able to connect, and then it just prolongs the implementation process, which is a shame because you already know that you want a technology, you want to implement it, you see the value in it because we did a pilot and they know that they want to implement it, but then the tail of the integration takes a long time. So that's been one of our hurdles.
And what outside of that, what's worked well? Is it the implementation for the customers? Is that something that's definitely working well, or is there something totally different that you
Yeah,
guys
in that we are very, we work fast, we're very agile, very flexible. It's customer support is our number one thing. I think that we are really good as a company to build relationships because we are not just around the implementation of the solution, one time for one customer. We're around building the relationship with the customer and bringing them value as a partner. So many times, like I mentioned, we do the observations of the customers, providing them insights about what works well and what would work better. We would not be fast to implement when we don't think that's the right solution for them. And I think that customers appreciate that. We will tell them that we think that this is not the right time or the right technology for them. I want to be able to implement our solution, whenever it brings value and real value, because otherwise it's going to be very short-lived. So that's something that is important for us as well. And that has worked well. And I think that the trust that customers bring us, especially, I love it. I love meeting customers that you see that their DNA is a DNA of adopting new technologies. And you have a lot of them out there. So there are not everyone is a new adopter, new technology adopter, innovator. Some of them will want to see first that it works at another customer's premises and then a friend of theirs, and only then make the implementation themselves. So I love seeing that there are other tech savvy companies that their DNA is around innovation and efficiency, and they are the first ones to try out the technology and they are excited and then they implement. And from what what has worked well for us is that from the pilots that we offered, we had success in all of them in implementing it eventually. And that was we were very happy about it. So it means that they can see the value from the pilot, and they can see how this is going to upgrade their efficiency in their business. And that has been really good.
Awesome. Karen, this has been incredible. Your perspective is practical, it's sharp, it's honestly refreshing. For anyone who wants to learn more about your work or Zmark, where can they find you?
So on our website, zimark.io, and we're very excited because we're launching one of our new products, which is 24/7 inventory reliability, um, completely automating pallet tracking throughout the warehouse in order to save cycle counts and to save resources. So come to our website and be able to see. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'll be very happy to chat with you on LinkedIn and set up a meeting, and we'll be happy to share all the information we have and insights and see if there could be a fit. We're looking forward to
Um,
work with a lot of people from your audience.
hmm. Well, if we can jump into, I guess, my last question. We talked a little bit of how you got into Zim. Um, what was the biggest aha moment for you as you entered into this industry? And I wouldn't say what would you do differently now, but if you could go back and tell yourself something, what would that thing be?
Wow. I would say that my aha moment was when I realized how each one of us is impacted. I'll tell you something, as a background story, if we have a couple of minutes. But when I interviewed for Zim, then I wasn't very aware, to this operation of this company. Although it's a very big company, and you know how sometimes when there is something specific that you're working on or industry that you work in, or for example, you're about to get married and all of a sudden you see only commercials around you for, I don't know, wedding suits or baby stuff around you. All of a sudden, everything is around that. So I never noticed containers on the road before that. And suddenly I interviewed for Zim and I see only containers all the time. So that was something that all of a sudden I realized how much each one of us are super impacted by this industry, and we don't realize it. It's like completely transparent for us as a normal day-to-day person that is not in the industry. And we don't realize how much impact it has on our life and how much it's super connected to the economy, to think about what happened during COVID, how this industry completely all of a sudden changed and boomed for the e-commerce, and the impact on our day to day and the connection to what's happening around us to the economy, to any political changes that happen in any country. It's amazing, and that was my aha moment, because I transitioned from being a normal person that just gets their package and doesn't think about how it gets there to somebody that really understands the behind the scenes. So that was one very transformational moment for me, and to understand that, and doing various positions impacted that as well, to understand the behind the scenes of it. And what would I do? The second question that you've asked was if I would be able to tell myself
Yeah,
then.
one or two things as you were getting started. If you could go back and tell yourself, one or two things, what would those things be?
Well, in general, I would say, if it's okay to say something on the personal side, not on the
Yeah, absolutely.
specifically for logistics. But I would tell myself to take more risks, I would say. So I was offered throughout the years, I was offered to make some changes in positions that I thought that were too early for me, for example. because I didn't have enough experience or enough knowledge or enough background for it. So I was cautious about not taking a position that I didn't think I was really ready for. So I would tell my younger self to just, believe in myself and just take those positions. And, perhaps I would. It's not that I'm not happy with the road that I took. I'm very happy with it. It's just as a way of looking at things and being much more open to take chances in that. I think I've that's a change I've made over the years. Yeah, I think that would be the key one.
I love that. Take more risks. Awesome. Awesome. Was there anything else that you would love to leave with the audience, or just anyone in general that may be viewing this? If you are watching, just put where you're located in the comment section. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Is there anything else you would want anyone else to kind of know?
Well, I invite everyone that wants to chat with us, even if it's not, directly for implementing the solution. We are very keen on talking and, thinking about our future roadmap. So there might be interesting solutions after you see our technology that you can think about how it can assist you. So, of course, we are open to talk to you. Say thank you because, it's a great opportunity. I think you're doing a great job. And this has been a great experience. And in general, I would say, along the lines of taking risks, I would say, don't be worried about implementing new technologies. Take a leap of faith. It's worth it eventually. Make it smart, do it smartly, but take a leap of faith. It's time. Don't, I talked to some customer that says that they feel they missed the train in implementing new technologies, and now they are behind. So I would say take the right partner if you don't feel confident of doing investment in technology on your own. There are a lot of partners out there that can consult you on how to do it, but take a leap of faith and do it. Don't wait.
Love that. Definitely agree. Definitely don't wait. Karen, this was so powerful. I really enjoyed your story and just hearing, everything that led you to this point. Thank you for just sharing this space with me. You brought clarity to a conversation I believe most operators only dance around. The way you break down the real costs of outdated systems, the human impact behind the data, the path forward for modern logistics is the kind of insight I believe this industry kind of needs more of. So thank you for showing up with honesty and expertise. So for everyone listening, do not let this be another episode you just kind of nod through and kind of forget about tomorrow, right? Take one thing Karen shared and apply it. Audit your processes, question your assumptions, challenge the tools you have been tolerating. Small shifts turn into massive gains when you stack them with intention. So if you value what came from this conversation, pass it to someone in your circle who needs the wake up call. That is how our community continues to grow. That is how the logistics industry moves forward together. Karen, again, I appreciate you. And to the audience, keep building those systems that outlive the moment. Again, this is Legacy Decoded, and I will see you guys on the next one.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.